Hello my friends, Guten Erev Shabbos, happy Friday, followed by a beautiful, wonderful and inspirational Shabbos Kodesh. As you can see, I'm not back in Miami. I'm here in Alaska, standing in front of a beautiful piece of artwork. It's amazing to think that no one ever challenges a Picasso or a Rembrandt and say that was actually an accident. That was made by itself. But yet, you can stand in front of something like this, and you'll find people who will say, this is an accident. This is a fluke. This happened by itself. Why don't people say that's impossible, but a Rembrandt, which isn't anywhere near as beautiful as this, or Picasso, why doesn't anybody say that was an accident? Of course, that wasn't an accident, and neither is this. This week's Parsha, after we went through 3 weeks of mourning over the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, amazingly, we have an incredible Parsha, an incredible Torah reading, where we say the words, Ata reis ladas ki Hashem hu Elokim, ein od milvado, that there is no one else. Hashem, God, Elokim, is the boss, is in charge, is the master of all power. Nothing happens unless He wants it to happen. None of this could have ever happened unless He wanted it to. Please, if someone would ever like to explain to me logically how this beauty that takes my breath away, how this can happen by itself. I'd be interested to hear your theory. But it really, no matter what you tell me, you're not going to tell me that the Picasso happened by itself. Ata reis ladas, you have seen in order to know. Ki Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem, God, hu Elokim, He's in charge. He's the one with all the power. He's the one that makes everything happen. Nothing happens unless He wants it to. Being in Alaska reminds me of a story. There was a Rabbi Schlesinger who was traveling around America and Canada raising funds for his institution in Israel. And somehow there was a glitch in one of his tickets or the flight, and he had to make they had to land in somewhere in Alaska. And as I found out, sometimes Shabbos in Alaska comes out very, very late, but still, he couldn't go anywhere else for Shabbos, and he was stuck in Alaska, and Shabbos wasn't going to start until 10 o'clock at night. So he had a lot of time on his hands. And there was no Jewish institution anywhere near him. So he runs a facility, he runs an institution, a school in Israel, a yeshiva, and he asks somebody there, where's the local school? Maybe I'd like to go and visit, see if they do things differently in Alaska. Maybe I can learn something from them. And the principal gave him a tour of the school, and he comes in dressed like a Jew from Israel is dressed, with his yarmulke and his tie and his shirt, his suit. And he walked into a classroom and he asked the kids in the classroom, have any of you ever seen a Jew before? And one little girl raises her hand. And he said, yes. Who have you seen? She said, I saw my mommy. My mommy's a Jew. And the rabbi at that moment said, now I understand why I ended up in Alaska. And he told the little girl, he said, you know, every Friday night, 18 minutes before sundown, women all over the world light candles in honor of the incoming Shabbos. And here in Alaska, where you're starting Shabbos so late, this is probably one of the last places that people will be lighting candles. God is waiting for you and your mommy to light candles this Friday night. He said that little girl's eyes were glowing. He said he was sure. She went home and told her mother about it, and before Shabbos, the two of them lit Shabbos candles. Ata reis ladas. You have seen in order to know. Ki Hashem hu Elokim. God is in charge. Ein ol milvado. There is no other power, there is no other entity. Nothing else works besides Him. Good Shabbos.